The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Brought to you by Medine's Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medine's. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Brecheen.
Welcome back, Lee Brecheen, the host of Sports Scouting Report. Hope you're enjoying the show. I want to thank the Marriott Hotel, who always puts our guests up. Not this week, but usually when we bring people in from Monroe, Lafayette, Shreveport, Natchitoches. Appreciate them on College Drive. Also Superior Grill on Government. They're also in New Orleans, St. Charles Avenue, and Baton Rouge, 2 locations, Highland and Government. We want to go ahead and introduce our first guest, Troy LeBoeuf. Thank you for joining us, Troy.
Good to see you again, Lee.
What's going on in Donaldsonville, Troy?
A lot, man. Getting ready for football season.
Well, you're still doing radio. Tell everybody what you're doing now.
Yeah, so obviously was a high school coach for 8 years, got out of it. I looked at the dates the other day. It's 20 years ago. I got out of high school coaching, and at times I miss it, but I do a lot of other things to kind of stay involved. Do some radio stuff at 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge. Grateful to those guys to let me be a part of it, fill in on some of the shows and stuff. Cover sports for the Advocate, for the Ascension Parish teams. Love working with all of those guys because, as you know, quality football in Ascension Parish.
Yeah, and the River Parishes, you see a lot of those teams too, and all the way to Laplace to St. James and Lutcher and all those areas, which great football. I want to mention this, Troy, and you might like this as well, but Dale Brown, I was able to get this from Dale the other day, but 31 players that Dale Brown coached that were drafted by the NBA. A lot of people don't realize that. 31 players, first, second round. Eddie Palabiscus was the first one in 1974. Fourth round. When they had a fourth round, they don't have that anymore.
He still hasn't missed a free throw.
No, I don't think he has. He's like 98% in his career. Collis Temple Sr. went in that first draft that Dale had to the Phoenix Suns.
He was the first African-American player to play
at LSU from Kentwood. Kentwood High School.
He was a great football player, too.
And then Glenn Hansen in 1975, Kenny Higgs in 78, 79, Al Green, not the singer, but Al Green, the basketball player. And then 80, Dwayne Scales, one of the best I've ever seen play. Wasn't at LSU very long. Rudy Macklin in 81. Which was pretty good.
My parents had season tickets then. They were fun to watch.
Probably the greatest draft in 81. Get this. Rudy went in the third round. Greg Cookie Man Cook went second round, Atlanta. Ethan Martin from Lee High School went in the fourth round, and Willie Sims went in the fifth round. His whole starting 5 was drafted.
They were loaded.
In 1981. 83, Howard Hasse Carter, Redemptorist grad, went to Denver in the first round. Leonard Mitchell from St. Martinville in 84. And the last player drafted from Dale Brown, Randy Livingston, who's coaching at Newman High School in New Orleans.
One of the best. Probably being a former basketball guy, probably the best I've seen as far as the total package that has come through Louisiana.
One of my favorites, 1986, John Williams from Los Angeles Crenshaw High School, first round. Nikita Wilson, Jose Vargas in 88, Ricky Blanton in 89, Chris Jackson. Who can forget Chris Jackson? His name is Abdul
Rauf.
It's different.
Played for the Nuggets.
That's right. In 92, the biggest name of all, Shaquille O'Neal, was drafted. Can you believe that? We're getting old. But in 92, Shaq was a first rounder to the Orlando Magic. Not the Lakers, but the Orlando Magic.
Obviously, when he was at LSU, everybody knew who LSU was. If you remember when they played Duke in that basketball game in the Deaf Dome, a lot of us camped out in tents just to get into that game.
Christian Laettner.
Absolutely.
Was Danny Ferry on that team?
I don't think so. I think Danny had graduated already. I know he had graduated already. Bobby Hurley was on that team.
The cocky Christian Laettner was on that team.
Absolutely, and he loved it.
If
you hadn't watched the show on him, you need to. It's great.
So we have the quarterback from Scotlandville coming on today. We've got Aiden Corbella coming on, the kicker from Jesuit. John, who you watched, is a kicker like myself. I watched John kick at St. Thomas More in Lafayette when he was in high school. But what do you think about Baton Rouge football this coming year, Troy? And then we're going to be in Jamborees in August. We're, a month away?
Absolutely.
Maybe a month?
Jams are at the end of August, so around the 25th, 26th
Yeah,
of the jam.
about
Scrimmages
8
the week
weeks.
prior to that. So you're looking at about a month for high school teams to prepare for their scrimmages. And a lot of the coaches, obviously, at the coaching clinic now, they'll come back and they'll ramp back up and get their teams ready before they can put the pads on in early August.
We're supposed to have Ryan Manali here, but we got Troy, which is good.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But Ryan was going to be, but we do have the other Jesuit people here, John and Aiden.
So Baton Rouge football obviously is outstanding, very strong. I mean, you talk about Scotlandville, you talk about Catholic High, you talk about Dunham, what Travis Bourgeois has done at Episcopal High School, Parkview Baptist with Stephen LaForest, Woodlawn High School.
U-High has done an incredible job.
U-High's done it. I mean, from my years of following high school football, and you followed longer than I, it seems like the strongest from top to bottom that we've seen.
Yeah. Well, me and you could talk for 2 hours on the state. We could talk for an hour just about New Orleans. I saw every team play last year but 2 teams, Delhi Charter and Sicily Island. Were the only 2 teams I didn't see play last year.
I was going to ask you about those guys.
I
didn't see them either.
I did talk to the coaches, but there's a lot of talent coming back in New Orleans since it's a Baton Rouge, New Orleans show today. But I like Denham Springs being the sleeper this year. I'm going to throw that out right now. I think Coach Beard is building something at Denham. He did a great job at Live Oak. You know, Zachary's going to be Zachary. Southern Lab's going to be Southern Lab. U-High is going to be U-High. Woodlawn's stacked with Coach Randall. But the sleeper team, to me, is Denham Springs and maybe Bruley. Bruley's got some good stuff going on. And as far as New Orleans, the team that's not sleep on, you know, Jesuit, who we have today, is going to be very talented. Brother Martin, I think, is kind of rebuilding a little bit, but they got a lot of talent coming back. John Curtis is best team in 7-8 years.
That's scary to think because obviously they had some good teams over the years. I know some people felt like they've kind of dipped a little bit, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Southern Lab, the D4 champions from last year. They lose a lot. They lose a 4-year starter at quarterback, but they do bring some talented guys back.
And Archbishop Shaw gets Hank Turney back. You know, they had some glorified years.
Veer's coming, huh?
Yeah, Veer's coming. He's going to teach those quarterbacks how to run it. Defenses are always big. And they got talent now. Shaw's got some good talent.
They do. They do. They kind of went through a rough period, but I think they're starting to get some. They made their commitment back to football again. You mentioned Denham Springs. Good friend of mine, Joe Ryan's a special teams coordinator on that team. He's a strength coach. He leads the Louisiana high school powerlifting as the president. Yeah. He was a former Ascension Catholic coach, and he does a fantastic job. Reese Mooney, McNeely, the running back, so many guys coming back, and Brett Beard. I mean, they just when you think about that program, you just think tough, hard nosed. Yeah. They're gonna be good in the trenches.
You know what else they have, which is very unique. They have a tight end named Andrew Goodwin, who's got the best hands of any receiver in the state. He's 6'2", about 220, and he runs, I'll call a football 4.5.
Right.
He probably hand times 4.79, but when he's on the field, you can't guard him.
Right.
And that's a very unique package. And they got a tackle that's 6'5", 290. It's an all-stater that's been on our show. Also want to mention, Troy, that St. Aug in New Orleans is loaded. They've always had talent.
13 to 15 D1 prospects, I'm hearing?
22 out of 22.
22?
Yeah. And maybe 30 seniors might sign, meaning the backups.
Right.
So this is a team that if they can put it together in the Catholic League, I mentioned Curtis being good, Jesuit's good. Holy Cross has got their best team in maybe a decade too, and they played all freshmen and sophomores last year. So that Catholic League is going to be serious come playoff time.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you throw Catholic High Baton Rouge in there when you get to the playoffs.
Bird
and
and
you
Shreveport.
Curtis and all. Obviously, we still don't know what's going to happen with select versus non-select. I think we initially saw some of the schools being labeled as being select. I don't know if that's going to stay down there. There's going to be some fight in court over some of that stuff, but we really hadn't talked much about Ascension Parish too. The one thing I want to mention about Ascension Parish, they had a lot of experienced quarterbacks last year in that, the 6 teams that are in Ascension Parish, high school wise. That's a little different. I mean, the most experienced quarterback coming back is Bryce Leonard at Ascension Catholic. Right. He's a 4-year starter, but everybody else, and doing my previews coming up for the Advocate, everybody else is breaking in new quarterbacks for the most part. Yeah. Dutchtown, they had power on last year. They can play some quarterback. They look at some other guys, but Santamar lost Poirier. They're going to have to come up with another quarterback. East Ascension, Coach Lee, his son is a quarterback.
And that's the key to their team. Because they're loaded everywhere else.
Everywhere else loaded. Walter Samuels just committed to Tulane as the running back. Carpenter, and there's another defensive end at Santa Mar's really good. So a lot of good players, but I think if you look at the signal call, the guy's going to pull the trigger every week. Everybody's got some question marks there, but I'm confident because the coaching is great in Ascension Parish.
You know what makes the same teams in the championships every year is they get their quarterbacks back. You know, Edna Carr's got their quarterback, Samuel's back for the third year.
Right.
And the guy's thrown for 10,000 yards. He didn't even have to with all the talent around him.
Right.
Catholic High's got Daniel Bill back for his third year. I mean, these quarterbacks are the glue to the team. You know, Bo Perez is going to be his first year to really start at Jesuit, but he's a talented kid that played a lot last year. But there's a lot of good teams. When you look at them, you always had, like, we got Scotlandville's quarterback coming on today, Zae. I mean, that's why Scotlandville's going to be in this thing. And they'll be in that select thing side, which is a tough road to get there with Catholic and Byrd and all the Catholic League teams. But give me a good quarterback, and you got a good chance in 5A to get to a state title game. And a Holstein, look, Holstein's third year at Zachary.
Right. I mean, I think you certainly build from there. You want to have somebody you trust at the offensive coordinator, whether it be the head coach or a position coach, that can be on the same page with that guy, because the quarterback is an extension of the coach on the field. And in a lot of these offenses now, if you look at what Zae does at Scotlandville, I'm sure he has the ability to change plays. They're in a spread offense. He can use his feet. He can use his arm. He's been taught how to read defenses. You know, people argue all the time about 7-on-7. I do think 7-on-7 has a purpose for it. The quarterbacks are not under pressure to throw the football. They have to get rid of it in 4 seconds, but you don't have big linemen chasing out. But I do think it gives you an opportunity to work with your receivers, because if you know, if you guys are on the same page, you know, if Zae's on the same page with the receiver, he's going to make that throw before the guy makes his cut.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to speak for the old school coaches. I'm an old school guy from the 80s. You know, trying to transition the way everything's going. I'm a big component on 7-on-7 for high schools to do it at their place. I'm not a travel ball 7-on-7 fan at all. But I think as long as it's team, and like you said, you can work on your routes, you can get the timing down, you can stay in shape.
right.
A lot of them use it to stay in shape, but I'm not toward like trophies and trying to go win a 7-on-7 national championship when you play for a Jesuit or you play for an Acadiana.
Well, it's the same level as what's happened with AAU basketball. I played AAU basketball. It's completely changed now. And also it's obviously with travel baseball. It's the same thing that's happened, you know.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's an opportunity for kids to showcase their talent. Some college coaches are going to 7-on-7 tournaments. I mean, they're watching those kids.
Well, it's another opportunity to be around them.
Right.
And they're putting the tournaments at the colleges. And so they want them on campus. Let's just be frank about it. They want them. They want them there, and it's another chance to say, "Hey, how you like our campus?" You know.
Another young quarterback I want to mention too at Donaldsonville. They'll be breaking a new quarterback. They lose their 4-year starter.
They lost everybody.
They did. They lost quite a bit, but they have some good players coming back. Rayan Otis is going to be a 2024 guy. He kind of, I hate to make this comparison, but he kind of reminds me of Corey Webster. Corey Webster was the best athlete, so he played quarterback at St. James. Rayan is not really a quarterback, but he's the best athlete. He's going to play that position, and he's a 7-on-7 guy. He's learning. Coach Richardson does a great job with him learning the position, and he's going to have a really good running back in Robert Kent.
Superman.
Superman. That's him.
That's his nickname. I found out day one of knowing him as a freshman.
That's him.
He was Superman starter for them, so their best player is back.
He is.
Which is Robert Kent.
He's an outstanding player. I mean,
he's an LSU guy, I think.
I think so. I don't know if they're going to give him that opportunity, but you know, he's starting to get some offers. I know he started to post some offers and stuff.
What do you got to do when you're 6'1", 200, run a 4.45 legit? You're mean. You're one of the fastest guys reading the game.
Could play on both sides of the football.
Never leaves the game. 4-year starter, leader, student, 3.3 GPA. What else do you need to do?
He reminds me of Jai Williams that played at Ascension Catholic. Pound for pound, the best football player I've seen.
Just taller.
Yeah, just taller, really.
His Jai was like 5'9", maybe.
Yeah, and just taller. Jai's at Nichols now. So I think Robert has a chance to play at a bigger school. But watch out for Rayan Otis. He's got a chance.
He's done a lot of linebacker for them at outside backer, a little safety, a little running back.
They put him in a star position. They can move him all around the field.
He's going to be tough to handle back there.
I think he will. I watched him a little bit in the spring game. You know, it was an abbreviated version. I think they got some bad weather that day. So they played a little bit in that game. But he's a player. Like I said, I think the most experienced quarterback coming back into Parish is Bryce Leonard. And he's got some weapons to throw to in C.J. DeLone. He's got his twin brother, Brooks Leonard, He's got Jamira Spro's a 6'4" receiver. He's got Jackson Landry, whose dad played.
Big guy.
Yeah. Everybody loves him. He's a baseball player, but when football coaches
he's a stud
come to Ascension Catholic to recruit, they say we want to see the Landry kid because he's a 6'4" tight end.
220.
And his dad played college football at ULM, college football and
baseball. He's a specimen. I've seen that kid. He's unbelievable. If he can just put it all together in football.
Absolutely. And I think another big important part, you mentioned the quarterback, is the center.
Yeah.
LaShawn Bell's at Ascension Catholic. He's a 4-year starter. He's getting recruited a little bit state-wise. I think if you got that center that you're comfortable with, because most everybody is in the pistol or the shotgun, and the snap is important for the timing of all plays.
I watched him against St. Michael's Thursday night game. He was a technician.
He did. He is a technician. He studies film. They continue to work hard in the weight room.
6'1", 280?
I would say 6 foot by 290.
I mean, but he moves around good, too.
He does. Ascension also returns Landon Zabinski, who was an all-state punter, but he's an athlete. He plays on both sides of the ball for him at linebacker and running back and stuff. So only got some players coming back. We'll see. But I think Ascension Parish football is going to be very good. It's going to be very competitive. I love what all the coaches are doing. Their schedules, if you look at the schedules of all the teams in Ascension Parish, they really beat their schedules up. They play really good teams. Look at East Ascension's schedule if you want to see a schedule.
I want to see East Ascension make it to a state title game because they're so close.
Coach Lee is fantastic.
Darnell Lee played at McNeese. He's a great former player. He's a former EA grad. He loves the school. They got some phenomenal big linemen every year. Heck, they have 7 6'6" linemen playing college ball right now that weigh 300 to 320 pounds. 7 O-linemen.
Xavier Jupiter's a guy. It's an all-purpose player for
I like him.
Got his first offer the other day. I know his dad real well. He was excited about it. He's undersized a bit, but
he's a player.
He's a football player
in space.
Coach Lee said he's a guy he can count on.
And they have a receiver that's a junior that can really fly.
I know you go.
6 foot, about 180 pounds. I mean, he's one of them.
Ja'Cory Mitchell.
Well, no, there's another one who's going to be a junior that runs a 4.4 that plays the game strong and mean. But they're loaded at skill positions, but the key is, like I said, the quarterback position. But I want to mention this, Troy, out of all the high schools I've seen the last 5 years, getting the trophies and we're talking about quarterbacks, there's one program that gets away with having a new quarterback every year, and that's Acadiana. Acadiana moved their quarterback to linebacker last year.
Yeah.
Now, who does that in 5A?
Their
starting quarterback moved to linebacker and had 100 tackles. They put another guy in who looked like a linebacker, and they made him the quarterback.
I've covered Acadiana just like you for a very long time and worked for Cox in the past. Did their games of the week in the Lafayette area, and obviously what they're doing over there. The coaching staff is fantastic.
McCullough.
It's a machine.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 5'10", 215-pound linebacker. You say you played 15 games. Well, we're going to put him back at linebacker. We'll put another guy there.
I think just the mentality of playing linebacker at that position for them when they run veer and they throw the football when they need to. It's just a continued machine. They'll continue to have success.
Who's your sleeper team in Ascension River Parishes? Mine's Hahnville. If you go to technically the River Parishes.
Hahnville's going to be very good. I think people do think Lutcher's going to to be good, they're going to be very good, obviously.
Whitfield at quarterback.
Yeah, Lunchbox at quarterback. And sleeper teams, I think Destrehan's going to be good if you're talking about River Parishes. I do think Santa Maud's going to have a chance to be good. They're going to be very good defensively. They're going to have to get, they have to be a little bit more seasoned on offense, I think, with Coach Oliver.
Not a better DN than Dylan Carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting the offers, and the opposite defensive end of him, his name escapes me right now, I apologize.
He's about the same size as Dylan.
And he's starting to get some offers as well. But I do think, I like Hahnville as a pick, but I do think I really like the Lutcher team. St. Charles will have their system coming back. They have some good players as well. So it's going to be fun to cover all those teams. I can't wait.
There's no weak teams. Even West St. John is strong, and East St. John. I mean, East St. John's got the best tight end in the state, Devin Davis, who's 6'5". Get this. He times 4.5 at 255.
Right.
And he's mean. See, I like the mean with the hand times.
Right.
Because if you're not mean in football,
right,
then you're a good camp guy. You're a good time guy. You're a good measurable guy. He missed last year, but remember Devin Davis, going to be a senior. That's going to be a guy that you might want to bring on your
good,
show.
because you St. John lost some kids when it came to the storm. Some kids went to some different places.
One went to Woodlawn in Baton Rouge.
West St. John lost some kids too. Ascension Catholic opens up against them in week 1, and I'll be eager to see how they match up with each other. So that should be and they'll be playing on the turf for the first time.
Yeah.
All Ascension Parish teams finally have all their turf.
And never count out the Lutcher Bulldogs.
Dwayne Jenkins does a fantastic job. He has a great staff.
Does anybody have a more avid fan base?
It's hard. It's hard.
I know Riverside's pretty big over there too.
I know John coming on, Corbello. I mean, I've done St. Thomas More games. What they do is pretty special. I've seen some Scotlandville games. I've been to some Scotlandville games for coverage, and they do special stuff. But I'm yet to see somebody have a run out as good as Carr. I don't know if anybody can beat the Carr Cougars when it comes out.
Except Scotlandville basketball.
They turn the lights down and turn the smoke on.
Zae was telling me 8 state championships in Scotlandville basketball.
Coach Sample's
out of 13 years.
He does a great job, man. I love Coach Sample. I studied him as a young coach when I was a basketball coach.
Before we go, we got to throw this out there because I know a lot of Catholic League people would like me to ask this. Probably even John Corbella. How do you think Edna Carr will do in the Catholic League moving up to 5A? I don't think it's going to change. I think they're still going to be a powerhouse. I
don't think it's going to change either. I mean, I think it's going to be games are going to probably be more competitive for them, but top to bottom, their athletes are there. I think it's a situation like St. Aug. They have just as many athletes, maybe not as many D1s.
They might have 3 losses and still get to the state championship game instead of 0 losses.
You hate to use the term, but I'm going to use it. I mean, it's going to be an absolute war every time those teams get after each other.
Well, they already know St. Aug. They play St. Aug before the Catholic League.
I give Carr credit because I mean they could have shied away from that, but they're not, and give them credit for that.
It's going to be incredible to watch the Catholic League every week because everybody's strong this year. You know, Holy Cross was young last year. Now they're not young. St. Aug was a little bit young. They're not young. You know, Jesuit lost a lot, returned a lot. And then we've got Aiden Corbella coming on. We've got Zae, the quarterback from Scotlandville, coming on. John Corbella, former LSU kicker, Aiden's dad. And Troy, keep doing what you're doing. I know that come prep football season, you're going to be doing high school games on TV too, right?
Yeah, we cover Ascension Catholic. We have our own network we do that with, so we're excited about that.
You want to plug the company? You can. I mean,
yeah, we do it through VSN.
Yeah.
Varsity Sports Now, and it's been Eric Ritchie and Lon Elsie and those guys. I know Jace.
Yeah.
Jace does that for Episcopal, and watch out for the Knights, man. The Knights they have a good quarterback coming back. I know they lost some skill guys.
A little young,
but they're gonna be pretty good.
Never count out Bourgeois.
And don't take it for granted those guys are gonna play for Jimmy Williams. They're going to play for Coach Williams' memory.
I'm upset still with hearing about Jimmy at the age of 43 passing away. Condolences to his family, but was considered a friend. And every time I go to Episcopal High School to visit, I'd go early. And that new Ponderosa they got, that new fancy building, I don't know what you call it.
It's a weight room.
Weight room. With
coaches'
all the
offices.
But the first person that would greet me every time I would go at 4 o'clock on a game day, you know, get there early.
Jimmy Williams.
Jimmy Williams would come up to me and say, "Lee, where's your magazine at?" And I'd say, "Jimmy," he didn't go bring it to him, and he would be reading the magazine before the game because it was before team meetings.
Right.
And we'd talk about the old days, talk about him playing at Vandy, talk about when he played at Episcopal. But condolences to Jimmy Williams' family. Incredible person. Loved the game. Loved high school football. They can't replace him at Episcopal. I think he would have coached there too. He was 100 years old.
There's no doubt. I watched him as a young coach when he played at Episcopal. Obviously, Travis Bourgeois and our best friends, each other's weddings, graduated together. I watched him as a broadcaster. I covered his games as well. I watched him in college as a college NFL fan, and obviously doing it now with Episcopal and Ascension playing each other. I've watched what he's done. The biggest thing about Jimmy is a true competitor, but he has a relationship with his players and coaches. If you can learn anything, you got to have a relationship with your players.
And they're going to be playing this season for Jimmy. I mean,
there's no doubt about it.
He was a big part of that program. And I remember, I told Jimmy this about a year ago. I said, "Jimmy, I remember when you got on your first Monday night football game. And it was like, I covered you at Episcopal. And you returned a punt for a touchdown on Monday night football for the 49ers.
Right.
I said, "What was that like?" He said, "Man, it was great." He said, being with the 49ers and being on the
4-sport athlete.
I mean, incredible.
4-sport athlete.
Incredible.
He'd certainly be missed.
Troy, thank you, man.
As always.
Keep doing a great job for high school football. Troy LeBoeuf, check him out. High school football games, River Parish is Ascension Parish, and we'll talk more about those teams. We had Dutchtown on earlier this year. We're going to try and get East Ascension on. We tried to schedule them a few times. We'll do that. When we come back, we're going to have a stud quarterback join us from Scotlandville High School. We're going to introduce him. I think he's as good as anybody in Louisiana, and I'm not just saying that because he's on the show. I'm saying it. We brought him on to get his name out because he's a national recruit. We'll be right back.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Medine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors. Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company. Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Gage has served Louisiana for over 40 years. Let Gage create a custom-tailored solution for your business and become your partner in technology. Give them a call today at 225-753-4243 and help your business get better connected with Gage.
Hi, everyone. Lee Brecheen, host of the Sports Scouting Report. Hope you enjoyed Troy LeBoeuf's interview. Donaldsonville, man, he covers it all, the river parishes, Ascension Parish. This segment, and later in the show, we've got Jesuit on, Aiden Corbella and John Corbella, who kicked at LSU. But in this segment, we have, I think, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, not just from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at Scotlandville High School, but in the country, Zae Teasett. I got it right?
Yes, sir.
Just remember T.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just going through the summer, building chemistry with my team, really. Hitting that iron, trying to get big, trying to get mentally prepared for the season.
You a basketball guy, too.
Mm-hmm.
You told me y'all got the state ring coming in pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
8.
Yeah, 8 in the last 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're a part of that. And you can tell on the football field.
It carries.
That carries over because of the magic you have with the ball in your hand and how calm you are. What I can't fathom is how calm you are when you're flush from the pocket.
Yeah.
Most guys they run like they're a little scared, or they run like they're maybe, hey man, I got to get away.
Mm-hmm.
You run like I'm ready to make the next play with my arm.
Yeah.
You're really, lefty too, so it's hard to get to you.
Yeah. It's not really like I'm a calm person, so like it's like translated to my game. So when you see like we'll be getting blew out by 30, winning by 30, I'm still gonna be the same person.
You're not rattled.
No, at all. So I feel like that's a good part of me. That's a good trait to have as a quarterback. And playing basketball definitely helps with the carrying over to football with that leadership role. Because Coach Sample being in the game for that long, he gonna teach you life lessons and things of that nature. So I take a lot from him and carry it on to the football field.
As a quarterback, you can run, obviously. I mean, you're one of those guys. I don't even have to ask you, but you look like 4'5". I mean, whatever you run, time doesn't matter to me. You look like a Michael Vick as a runner. Yeah. And then you have the height and the frame of like a Doug Williams, who's a local great, played for the Redskins. So you got the 6'3" height. And then when you're not playing basketball and you get your weight back on, you're a 200-pound guy. And you carry it really good. Like you're not what I would call a stiff quarterback.
Yeah.
You are a smooth, lean 200-pound, 6'3" guy. And that's the basketball.
Yeah, it really it helps. But like I always had this same type of body type like throughout my whole life, except like 9th grade I started getting a little tall, a little slim, but the muscle came back on eventually.
What do you want to work on as a senior? I mean, you've played all the great teams. You've played Warren Easton. I mean, you go up against, you've seen the Woodlawns, you've seen the Zac. I mean, what do you think you need to work to, like, fully hit your potential this year?
I think I need to work a little bit more on getting my guys prepared for Friday Night Lights, because we have a lot of new guys. So me being the senior now, I have a lot of experience. So just getting those guys prepared for what's to come, and get them to understand the defense as well, so we all could be on one page instead of me just like, you know what I'm saying, just reading the defense by myself. And sometimes, you know, a lot of times receivers and quarterbacks don't be on the same page. You know, they cause into a game changing, you know, something happening. So just being on the same page is my biggest thing.
Speaking of that, when your first read's not there, and you think in a second, third read, you got 3 receivers running routes. Routes run. So that's when you got to think, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm doing this, or no, hit me over the shoulder, right? You ever get in that in a game? When that read's not there, like that guy's, you know, the linebacker came up, I can't throw it. I don't want to run, but we got to get 10 yards.
It's I don't necessarily think, it's just like it flows, like so I'm setting up, when somebody come from behind, I'm gonna feel it. But I ain't gonna necessarily think run or throw. I'm just gonna think expand the play.
Process.
Yeah, just expand the play, and if somebody come open, they do. If they don't, then I'm gonna take on.
I'm gonna say this to whoever's watching the show. If you've never seen Zae play, he's the biggest quarterback in the state. That his jersey is very clean at the end of the night because you can't get to him.
Yeah.
When you rush him, he will actually make you come out of your shoes because you know how to move around and
yeah. I don't know.
These guys.
I really don't know where it come from, because if you see me run, like everybody call me slow. Like at the school, it'd be like, oh, he's slow.
Houdini, man.
Yeah, but like in the game, I don't know. It just a different type of speed turn on.
So you lost 2 D1 running backs this past year, special guys.
Special.
And I think one going to East Carolina is phenomenal. And the shorter guy was as good as the big guy.
Yeah.
They're both special.
Yeah.
So you got to work in 2 new running backs. One guy got some reps last year. But what do you think of having the 2 new running backs? And you, like I said, you got to be the guy this year as a senior.
Yeah. Marlon and Chance was a big part of the team all those years that they've been at Scotlandville, even before I was there. So them leaving, you know, now I have to pay more attention to the running backs, because, you know, with them being there, you know, I ain't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah,
you could take it, I ain't worried about it. But those guys being gone definitely put me in a perspective of that. Like, I have to talk to the running backs, even tell them what I think finna happen, because like in spring practice, I used to tell Milligan, look, if they give you the ball, you might have this cutback right here. So just be on the lookout for that. So just
or
being
block for you.
Yeah, just being in their head, you know, getting them ready for Friday.
How hard is it for you to pick up the reads to tell them to block? Because you know that linebacker's blitzing.
Yeah.
You know that DN's coming up.
I don't really be much worried about it. I trust them, but at the same time, I'm ready for anything to happen, to be honest. So yeah.
You got a really good O-line coming back. Franklin's been on our show. Small, 6'7", 370.
Yeah.
Mr. Lean, big guy. You got Hansy, who's like 285. Like you said, he watches what he eats, 6'5".
Yeah, Hamza. Yeah.
He can run probably a 5 flat. And then you got some thick guys, not as tall, but they're athletic.
Yeah, Dale. We got my center, Dale. He a senior. He just coming off an injury. But Dale, me and Dale played JV and freshman together, so it's not
Evans.
Yeah, Dale Evans. So it ain't gonna be too much nothing new to us.
He's pretty athletic for 260.
Yeah, Dale can move. Dale can do a lot of things.
Can he play any basketball?
Well, Dale, I don't know about.
No basketball.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But you got the big O-line to build around, and that's something a lot of people don't have. And you do have talent coming back at running back. And then you lost a lot of receivers.
Yeah.
So you got a whole new group of guys at wideout.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, but we got a lot of young guys that y'all have never seen, but I feel like they could play, and I got confidence in them as well too. So I'm just let them know throughout the season during practice that I got confidence in them, and then if they mess up, it'd be like that. So we just gonna go to the next play and keep going.
Zae Teasett, Scotlandville High School quarterback, going to be a senior this coming year. You were telling me about Southern Miss. You like Hattiesburg. You talking to the coach at Southern Miss, and you said Troy. What do you think of those 2 schools?
Oh, those schools are definitely like, it's not like it's like a culture. It's like a culture thing. Like those schools have good culture. You know what I mean? Coach Joseph be on me hard. He be telling me about the campus and the beach and all that, and need to come out there and all that type of stuff. And I just went to Troy camp, so I had a good feeling of that campus. I've been to Troy like twice now, so I like that campus. I like the coaches. I like Coach Craddock, and I got to go up to Southern Miss to see Coach Joseph.
What do you think of Louisiana schools? Who did you grow up liking the most in Louisiana?
It was two. It was Scotlandville and Scotlandville.
Okay.
And my quarterback was from Scotlandville, was Blake. Remember Blacheville?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake was like, he was like one of my guys in high school. And,
Ville
and
went to,
Levi.
one of them went to Central, didn't he? One of the Villes?
Who?
Maybe his brother, Ville.
I think it was his brother.
Went to Central High School.
His daddy and my dad grew up together.
Okay.
So yeah, and Levi Lewis. You know,
Oh
Levi.
man, he had a great career at UL.
Yeah.
For a guy 5'10"ish, huh?
Yeah, Levi dog.
Broke all kind of records at UL.
Yeah, him going to Scotlandville, you know, that's a big, thing to look at.
Who did you like college-wise in Louisiana growing up? Colleges? Not really, not one?
Nah. My favorite college when I was growing up was Oregon, Marcus Mariota.
Was it the jerseys?
No, it was Marcus Mariota. I'm telling
So
you.
you just like the players?
I like Marcus Mariota and Cam Newton, of course.
Yeah, Cam was pretty good.
Cam
at
was
Auburn.
really good.
He
Cam
beat
was
everybody.
Yeah,
You
Cam
never
was a
say
dog.
one guy,
Yeah.
but he was that one guy that beat LSU that year.
Cam was like Shaq on the field. I don't know. He was a dominant.
Different,
He was a
wasn't he?
dominant player.
6'5", running 4.240.
Yeah.
250.
And I still haven't seen him in person yet, but everybody that's seen him in person come back, man, he even bigger in person. So I definitely want to meet Cam one day.
Nobody could stop him in college. Now the pros is different,
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
but in college he was a one-man guy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good players, and in Oregon, man, what does Oregon got to do to win a national championship?
Oregon?
I mean, they can't win one.
I ain't been watching them too much. I know they quarterback number 13. I don't know his name yet, but I be watching him. They got good guys. They got Webb. I know some guys over there in Oregon, but I really don't even know what they got to do, to be honest.
They just seem
They need to. I want them to get back to.
You still watch them now?
Yeah, I still watch them.
Man, the Pac-12's crazy though. You got all the green fields, you got the blue fields at Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the Oregon's got like 38 different jerseys.
Yeah.
The helmets are like
They got
gold.
12. They got 12 helmets too.
The helmets change every game.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much though.
Yeah.
Too much.
But at the same time, it adds to the excitement of the game.
Excitement, huh?
Yeah.
You're right about that. They brought that Nike and all those.
Mm-hmm. Then the headquarters right there in Oregon, so you ain't got no choice but.
I tell you, if Oregon's watching this, you would definitely get on a plane and visit.
Yeah.
So that's your dream school.
I wasn't necessarily dream school, but my dream school is Florida.
Okay, Florida Gators.
Yeah, so that's my dream school. But Oregon is definitely a school I would love to go visit.
Has Florida reached out to you?
No, they did at one point in time when they was recruiting Quincy from Madison Prep.
Yeah.
They was recruiting Quincy. I was right there next to him, so I had a little talk with coach. But yeah, I'll be in touch with Florida.
All right, I got to ask you this before we go. Quincy Wiggins is like a guy that can make you look small.
Yeah.
6'7",
Yeah.
270, no body fat.
No
Basketball guy too, right?
Yeah, I grew up with Quincy.
What do you
my
think
guy.
of Quincy? What do you think? He's going to be a
He
star
is
fast.
Yeah, he gonna be if he stay focused and just like grind, like literally grind, cause he just naturally gifted without even
learning it from basketball.
Yeah, without even doing nothing. So if he grind, I feel like the sky's the limit for him.
Can you score on Quincy?
In basketball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in basketball, yeah. Yeah. He a big dude.
But he's a guy that ran a 4, and I'm not into the times, but when you can play him in the times, like if you can play the game, and he's a player.
Yeah,
and he runs a 4.6 at 270, 6'7".
Yeah.
Lean. It's scary. He's going to weigh 300 and still
He
be
just
lean.
a big kid though. He just like the biggest kid ever.
Yeah.
He always happy. Always got good energy. We played against him in spring last year. He sacked me one time.
He got you?
Yeah, he spun me around, slung me on the ground one time.
You tried to do the Houdini on him and he got you?
Yeah, he did give me. Matter of fact, he did. He got me by the jersey. So
He's athletic now.
Yeah, he is.
LSU fans, Quincy Wiggins, DN.
He real deal.
I think when he puts his hands up, he's going to probably bat 30 balls a year, don't you think?
Yeah, that too.
He'll be knocking some passes down. Him and Savion Jones from
Yeah.
St. James are a heck of a young duo at LSU. Zae, appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Any questions if you want to talk about thanking anybody, family, anybody?
I want to thank my mama, personally. My mama, she go through a lot. She sacrificed a lot. I think she overworked herself at times, but I appreciate her. I love her. Shout out to all my youth league coaches, Coach Pat. Those guys built the character in me, like literally. Cause remember I told you I started playing football when I was 4.
Yeah.
So I was with them since I was 4 all the way to.
Had a lot to do with you being where you are now.
Yeah. So I was from 4 all the way to 8th grade. Those guys built me up, made me the man I am today. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mama's gonna love that. Mamas are working hard. I grew up. I was a single parent growing up. My mom raised me.
Yeah.
She had 4 jobs.
Yeah.
I know what that's about.
Yeah.
Probably help her sometimes too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, nothing wrong with that. Look, good luck to you. We're
Appreciate
going to
it.
keep watching you.
Yes, sir.
And I know at the end of the day, when recruiting is over, Zae will be at a D1 school, and he'll be a starter in D1 football and all this other stuff. I mean, it's good to say star, 4-star, 5-star, but in the end, you got a chance to be at a major college starting for 4 or 5 years. We'll be right back. We're going to have Aiden Corbello come on, Jesuit High School. And Zae, one of the top kickers in the state. You're one of the top quarterbacks. He's one of the top kickers at a Jesuit high school in New Orleans. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.